I'm Robin Murdoch, live in Oak Park, where neighbors helped pull a family from their home right behind me here when it caught fire overnight. We've got the very latest on that rescue, as well as a search for a cause in my live report. Good morning, Amy.
Good morning, Robin. Also this morning, we're learning more about some disturbing allegations involving a coach at Farmington High School. He's accused of inappropriate behavior with students, and now several other staffers have been fired. The latest on that is coming up. Good morning, Brandon.
Hey, Amy, good morning. And you heard from President Biden about an hour ago. He's in Israel this morning. A short time ago, the president delivered an address in which he pledged to continue support for Israel as it fights against Hamas in Gaza. We'll have more on the president's message coming up.
Working for you. Fox 2 News Live at 11 starts now.
Again, so much to talk about in the Middle East, but we begin here at home. Good morning. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. I'm Amy Lange.
I'm Brandon Hudson. We want to update you on a story that we have followed all morning about a family that is grateful to be alive this morning. Neighbors in Oak Park saw a house fire, and they risked their lives to save them.
It's a joint effort by those neighbors as well as the fire department, leading to a dramatic rescue. At this hour, investigators are looking into what sparked the flames overnight. And Fox 2's Robin Murdoch has been following it all morning long. She joins us now with the latest. Good morning, Robin. The family physically okay, but the home a total loss?
Yeah. Yes, that is exactly it. All three people inside of this home behind me, they were able to make it out. In fact, it wasn't even the smell of the smoke or the fire that alerted them to the situation, let them know something was desperately wrong at their house. It was a couple of neighbors who really went above and beyond and likely saved their lives.
It spread quick, real quick. Like, it started from the carport. And then when I turned my back and ran and grabbed the wood stick, it was all over the top of the roof.
Albert Wilson woke up shortly after 1 on Wednesday morning and immediately went into rescue mode after noticing his neighbor's Oak Park home was on fire. His mother recorded the billowing blaze with her cell phone while Albert and his younger brother did everything they could to get everyone up and out.
And I just shot out the door and ran over there, banged on the window. I tried to kick in the window, knock on the window and stuff. They wouldn't get up, so I kicked in the window, I kind of kicked the window a little bit. They still didn't get up.
We're told three people, a father, mother, and their daughter, were all asleep inside the Sloman Street home near 9 Mile and Coolidge when the early morning fire suddenly broke out. The intense heat causing what sounded like a series of small explosions.
If they don't come out, I got to go in. As simple as that, because I know, I would want somebody to do that for my family.
Albert and his brother were eventually able to get the family to safety, the siblings' swift action sparing them all serious injury. Investigators are now focused on finding the cause of the fire and are not ruling anything out due to the diverse community here and the divisive times.
As far as the situation going on in the world right now, especially in our community, there's just a higher sensitivity and awareness to these sorts of things. So if it turns out that this is something related to that, then we will deal with it accordingly.
So while the probe into how the fire started continues, the scene here is certainly a sobering one. The blaze may have destroyed this family's home, but they still have their lives, all because of the bravery of two brothers.
I'm just thankful, the man upstairs, that I was able to be up and that I peeped at what happened and I was there.
And you can bet the people who live in this home are thankful as well. Now, this is a live look at investigators out at the scene. They are currently digging through the rubble. They're digging through what is left of this home to try and figure out exactly what caused this overnight fire. As you heard investigators say, this could possibly be suspicious. We'll, of course, let you know what they determine. For now, we are live in Oak Park. I'm Robin Murdoch for Fox 2 News.
So much more to come on this, Robin, in terms of a cause, but in terms of what we do know, wow, were they lucky to have such wonderful neighbors who just happened to be at the right place at the right time and very determined to make sure this family was okay.
Yeah, those two brothers, they certainly did not give up. They banged on several different windows, broke through several different windows this morning to make sure that that family got out. So it really is fortunate that the family was not injured at all. From what we understand, one of the brothers had some deep cuts on his hand from busting out the windows, but he will be okay as well. So a lot of people very thankful this morning. Back to you, Amy.
Absolutely. Thanks to those siblings. All right. Perfect. We appreciate it. Robin Murdoch, as always, thanks so much. Brandon.
Pays to know your neighbors and have your neighbors know you.
That's right.
Also this morning, we have news about an alert. We have a news alert about a horrific turn of events for a recently divorced Genesee County couple. The sheriff there says that the husband of a couple who had been reported missing is believed to be their primary suspect after he was found without his wife. 57-year-old Stephen Higgins shot himself earlier today during a confrontation with authorities. Higgins is in the hospital. 60-year-old Kelly McWhirter, who recently filed for divorce, is still missing. Sheriff Chris Swanson says it doesn't look promising after deputies found blood and digging tools in Higgins' truck. Stay with Fox 2 for updates.
All right, let's turn to labor news now. More local union workers walking the picket lines this morning. Union members at MGM, Motor City, and Hollywood at Greektown casinos went on strike yesterday after failing to reach a contract. The workers want better pay, benefits, and job security, and they say they're done playing games.
It sends a message that we are all willing to stick together and we are willing to fight for what we deserve.
You've worked here 18 years. Did you ever think it'd come to this?
Never, never. Not even to the moments leading up to this.
Yeah, certainly nobody wants to be on strike, but they're out there fighting for all of those things to make their lives better. Each casino will stay open, has plans in place to handle staffing during the strike. Valet and certain restaurant services will be limited. Representatives from the casinos say they have made offers to the union and will continue to bargain. And then there's that other strike, the UAW, now on day 34.
And when you break it down, the strike already cost nearly $8 billion. A third of those losses is here in Michigan. And now the Big Three is scrambling to cut some costs. I want you to listen to some of these recent moves. Stellantis is backing out of the Consumer Electronics Show. The massive technology expo in Las Vegas is set for January. Also, General Motors is delaying production of 2 EV pickups at its Orion assembly plant. The factory will be idled at the end of this year, and it won't restart until late 2025. About 1,000 workers there will be transferred to other factories in Michigan. Meanwhile, suppliers are starting to feel the pain.
There have been surveys done that have indicated that about a third of the suppliers in general are in some financial difficulty.
We out here for y'all. We out here for y'all. If we get paid more, you get paid more. Everybody eats.
That is one of the union auto workers talking about the part suppliers, businesses. Stellantis is also looking to sell the North American headquarters in Auburn Hills. This is part of a longer-range strategy to save as much money as possible.
And more fallout from the sexual assault investigation involving a basketball coach at Farmington High School. The school has now fired several other coaches from the basketball program for knowing about this alleged behavior and not reporting it.
As you can imagine, parents are horrified at these allegations involving sex, power, and a cover-up corrupting young lives. Fox 2's Jessica Dupnack has new details.
I was horrified, obviously, and concerned.
It's the reaction of parents we talked to all day Tuesday, nervous to show their faces, worried about fallout from Farmington public schools in the wake of this scandal.
I hate to say it, but I wasn't necessarily surprised, just because there has been a culture of covering things up in this district for quite a long time.
First, bombshell allegations against the Farmington High School boys basketball junior varsity coach last week. Detroit Police Special Victims Unit is investigating him for sexual assaults, multiple against his own players. Sources tell us he'd invite players for overnight study sessions at his Detroit home. Then they take a terrible sexual turn. Kids just 14 and 15 years old. A day after Fox 2 broke that story, more shock in the district. 3 other coaches fired for allegedly having some knowledge of these purported sexual encounters and choosing not to report them.
These are the people that are supposed to keep our kids safe. And if they're not willing to report something as egregious as what has been going on, then they have no business being in coaching or in the education field at all.
Of those fired, varsity head coach Derek McDowell, an illustrious coaching career in our area, and as an assistant basketball coach at Eastern and Central Michigan universities. Farmington Public Schools said this in part. To be clear, the other coaches are not accused of improper conduct with players. Rather, they did not meet the required threshold as mandatory reporters to ensure the safety and well-being of student athletes. The JV coach at the center of it all has been a coach for more than a decade, which could lead to offshoot investigations outside the one underway by Detroit police.
When we have a situation like this, we really need to think about how it happened and how we can prevent it from happening in another school, with another sport, with other coaches.
That was Jessica Dubnak reporting. The coach has not been named because there are no formal charges at this point. He was fired last week as soon as the school learned of the allegations.